Sports development is a necessary facet of sectoral growth in the modern era, not only because of revenue promise and other advantages, but also generational impact at international tournaments, which is a proven unifier of citizens around the world, including Nigeria. That's our focus on Special Report. This talent, whether Nigerian or of Nigerian descent, are known across certain sporting fields that has put down a marker that in Africa, Nigeria is one to watch.
This is the moment the whole nation have been waiting for. The tie between Benin Republic has been the most critical and the most crucial, with both nations coming into the tie with 5 games for the win and 4 final losses. But now, Nigeria has now taken a step forward and rightly, confidently.
Be it boxing, wrestling, track and field.
This is the final lap. The Nigerians look to be in the lead. Slow and passing the baton, but it's not going to stop our speed. He's running this one. You can see that chase from the South African. It's really a strong one, and it's Nigeria finishing first, South Africa coming second, and Côte d'Ivoire finishing third.
Basketball, football, table tennis. Hockey. Nigeria has a proven track record of flashes of brilliance in local and international tournaments.
To hand it over to the Nigerian captain. There she is, Rasheedat Ajibade. Nigeria celebrating as African champions here in Morocco. They are winners of the WAFCON 2024. 10 times now they've taken this trophy, back at the top of the pile in women's football in Africa.
But one must go beyond the acknowledgement of that to grooming of the same, which is development in its simplest form.
Unlike the first edition, this edition of the Games is organized because the Chief of Defense Staff recognizes the importance of young, vibrant population of the Nigerian contribution to national development. Hence, the choice of the team, which is encouraging grassroots basketball talents, which is aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence among young people and encouraging tolerance in our society. As a very gender-sensitive person, the Chief of Defense Staff gives equal opportunities to both under-18 male and female teams to showcase their talents, skills, and win laurels.
Any competition any child plays in sports, we must see that they participate to the fullest. Even if the losers match or the last match, they just keep participating because the learning comes from the number of matches and the number of exposure that you get, not necessarily the number of trophies that you win.
It is like a stepping stone. So when you are getting into the bigger scenes, there are some parts you need to go through. So it's like a pathway, because now as it is, we still have more tournaments right in front. So everybody that is coming into this tournament have the opportunity to participate in our global sport program.
When you compete, it helps you in terms of your physical development, mental development. It also helps in your psychosocial development as well. So these are the things where, these are the 3 aspects where we are trying to incorporate into this, and it's really going to help them to achieve these aspects of development.
This, of course, leads to establishment of sports federations and commissions to demonstrate the kind of support that lines up with said country's policy on sports.
We have already identified the universities. There will be at least one university in each zone of the country that will be tagged as Center of Excellence for Sports. So in that university, we will now work with the private sector, with the government, to put the infrastructure, to put the coaches, to put everything. And then across that level of education, any athletes that we find within that level that is good enough can be transferred to those particular schools where they can further their education and also have the right training to do that.
That's a good one.
So, and the reason why we are working with the education is to make the transfer very, very seamless. Because if you identify you today in this university, we just need to request and the transfer will be very, very seamless and you are moving there. I've had the honor to address all the vice chancellors, to address all the rectors and the polytechnics provosts and provosts of the College of Education and rectors to align them to this level. And then that's at the tertiary level. At the secondary school level, we are also working out to create at least one center of excellence in each state. We will work with the unity schools to start with. It should be the same concept.
From discovery to development, it's a road that must be traveled and sustained, and an example will be the Lagos Grassroots Football Camp, self-explanatory, boot camp for young talent for a period identifying their strengths and weaknesses towards knowing who can pursue this as their career path as teenagers or when older.
We are going to start the selection of the player on the field of play. Then we see our tactical, we need to look at them, giving them the moral, talk to the players. After talking to them, tactical, tell them how to choose them, put them in a different shape. We have U13, we can't merge them together. U13 will go differently, U15 will go, U17 will go. Then we now start giving them orientation of the game, teaching them the laws of the game, how to play the game, what to explain to them. Give the kids freedom to play because people say, let them play.
Sport is a unifier, no matter the race. Sport is a unifier. And we parents really appreciate the program. That's why you can see the crowds here, the kids. In fact, they are eager to go. They are ready to go. So it's an encouragement to the kids.
I brought in my son. He wants to be a footballer. I hope he will be picked. He has been anxious since last year he finished his secondary school that he wants to be a footballer. And I pray he will be among the people choosing.
An accolade subsists for those in the footballing field. Under 21 talent may win the Golden Boy Award, which recognizes the best under 21 talent in world football. Three forwards eligible to represent Nigeria at the international level have been named amongst the 100 nominees for the 2025 Golden Boy Award, which honors the best under-21 player in world football. The prestigious accolade has been a benchmark for emerging global talent for over 2 decades. The 100-man shortlist includes Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri, Chelsea's Tyreek George, and Monaco's George Lenikena. Nwaneri, an 18-year-old Hale End Academy graduate, is the highest-ranked Nigerian on the list at 8th. He enjoyed a breakthrough season for Arsenal, scoring 9 goals and providing 2 assists across 37 appearances in all competitions. George, who is 19 years of age and is ranked 41st, was permanently promoted to Chelsea's first team for the 2024-2025 campaign. Monaco striker George Lenikena, born in Lagos and placed 96th on the list, also had a promising campaign, contributing 6 goals and 2 assists over the course of the season. To qualify for the Golden Boy Award, nominees must have been born in 2004 or later and have played for a club competing in one of UEFA's top 25 leagues as determined by UEFA's coefficient rankings. Brentford has officially confirmed the permanent signing of Italian-born Nigerian right-back Michael Kayode from Fiorentina on a 5-year contract with the option of a further year. The 20-year-old initially joined the Premier League club on loan in January 2025 and has now committed his long-term future to the Bees after impressing during his half-season stay. Kayode made his Brentford debut as a substitute against Tottenham Hotspur and quickly established himself as a key figure in Thomas Frank's squad. He earned his first start in the thrilling 4-2 win over Brighton and held down the right-back position for the final 6 games of the season. The Italy under-21 international played a crucial role in Ioane Wissa's equalizer against Arsenal by floating a back post ball to Nathan Collins, who headed down for the goal. With his versatility, composure and attacking instincts from fullback, Kayode is expected to play a key role in the club's ambitions in the Premier League. But how is this perceived through the lens of their peers who play football but haven't yet been signed, but are no less talented?
Let me talk about Nigeria first and foremost, because this is our nation, this is our country. It is you go back to the grassroots. That is where you start from, and then going to the grassroots means going to the schools, primary schools, secondary schools, not probably tertiary institutions. But there are also players, talented players who you can get from vocationals, that those who are learning carpentry, those who are learning vulcanizer, those who are learning one of the mechanics and stuff like that. But the basic thing is, that discovery. You go and scout them. You scout them. When you see them, then you select. You scout. You identify. Yes, you identify. You see them play. You bring them together, and then from there you can pick the ones that are okay. Now, having picked them, how do you groom them? How do you groom them, having picked them? That is where it starts. And that is where academies come into it. That is, the foundational stage of players' development. The pathway to professionalism starts from there. The pathway to holistic development starts from there. We have some formal and informal academies. Let me state this. There was this famous football academy that started sometime in 92, 94. So the Pepsi Academy. The Pepsi Academy, Kashima Olaloko was the arrowhead, but it was being, sponsored by Pepsi. But the soft drinks discovered a whole lot of Nigerian players. But at the lower level there, all they want to do is play football. All you want to do is development. But at that higher level, that you want to represent Nigeria. Let me just look at it this way. Just look at it. You are going at most, you are going to have 25 to 30 players that will be in camp. At under 17, at under 20, at under 23 levels, even at under 15 level.
Yeah.
In a local government in Nigeria, you can get twice as much as that players. So fitting in there is a very, 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 very difficult thing. And because we do not have a system, we do not have a bank. Let me. Why I say we do not have is unfortunate, because I come from an organization, Channels Television. They have the Channels Kids Cup that we organize it. We organize it for the children in the south, in Lagos, in the southwest, in the whole of Nigeria, and the West African sub-region. We come from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Togo. We're bringing in schools. It was supposed to be school sports in primary school, and you have to be under 13. Now, when we discover those players at that level, we are supposed to have put their name in a bank, in a data bank, where at any point there is this is the best 11 of this year's tournament. So that's supposed to be a step for them, a platform, to push them to that level. So if you have that competition, another competition, primary school competition, statewide, and you pick the very best, then you can identify those ones. But because football has become lucrative like every other day, that is a way out of poverty. Parents, see, bribery is a two-way thing, the giver and the taker. Sometimes the initiators are not those who are there. Of course, they might make it difficult. They might have middlemen through which you have to go through for them to enter there. But I tell you this, yes, it is not entirely untrue. But I'm not saying it's true. You have to have somebody to speak it. But I say, if we have a data system, if we can identify them, then it will be difficult, for any minor coach to say, you must pay me before your son or your daughter comes into the national team. Basically, that is it. But because we do not have that, that is why we're having those issues.
21-year-old British Nigerian bowler David Agbons out of London joins us on Special Report. And as we turn our attention to youth football around the world, with particular bias for under-21 football and under-17 football, it's a blossoming group of talent all over the world who have displayed their cadence on the football pitch, if I can use that term, at the under-17 level, at the under-21 level. So we'll be talking now in a moment to David Agbons, a 21-year-old bowler from out of England in London. David, welcome to Special Report.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's get straight to the nitty-gritty. there are footballers who have talents in Nigeria, and there are those outside Nigeria, such as yourself, of Nigerian origin. Can you tell us, in the first place, what informed your passion for football at such a young age? As you told me, you started at the age of 11?
Yep.
So what? Go on.
It was just playing around with my friends because at the time I was in primary school. So, you play around during lunch breaks, during break time. Then I started slowly seeing that I was at a different level to my friends at school. So then I went to a club and then started playing from there. Just went up, started progressing.
And tell us a little bit more about that journey. So from 11, you started out in London, right? So how was that journey up to the time where you reached a peak, and what's the next step for you now?
I think the next step for me now is, getting back into the swing of pre-season, playing consistently, getting minutes, scoring goals, assisting, getting my name out in the transfer window, because you never know what could happen.
You've done this whole thing from the time of the age of 11. Do you ever see yourself playing for Nigeria?
Of course, yeah. As a Nigerian that was born in Nigeria, of course.
You'd not play for any other country under any other circumstances. You're being raised in the UK, right?
Yep.
And you've been in the UK for how long?
15 years.
Fantastic. So tell me what you think about how football is being played around the world. You have examples of those who started from the youth academy, such as in a lot of clubs right now. Let's take Messi, for instance, or let's take Trent, for instance, who started at a wee young age, and now they're international football superstars. Do you think you get enough support from academies in the UK? Do you think Nigerians get support?
To be very honest, I don't think so. I think the academy system is very systematic, and it's very they want you to play a certain way. Some academies have, built-in strategies and how they do things and how they improve players. But that's like the top. We're talking about like Tottenham, Man U, Chelsea, all those kind of teams. That's why the best talents now are in those clubs right now, because of how the system is. But I do think there is room for improvement. I think there's a lot of things that academies could look into when improving young players, especially Africans, Nigerians, because Nigerians, raw power, strong, fast, but football now is all about technical ability. If you don't have that, you're not going to get far.
So can't you have the power as well as the technical ability?
Yeah, you can, but I'm saying that academies need to do more and try to help better those type of football players.
What clubs do you admire that you think you'd like to play for in the future?
To be honest, I think the way Arsenal play their football is very nice. Crystal Palace as well. I think those two, I like the way they play football. Very smooth, very, on the floor.
Right.
And it's nice to watch.
What about West Ham?
Nah. Me and West Ham have a bit of rivalry when I was growing up.
Oh, really? Tell us about it. The Hammers, right?
Yeah. So every time I'd play against West Ham, it would be just a straight war. But they're a good team, though. They're a good team. I wouldn't turn them down.
Okay. What do you think about teams like Brighton? How well they did in the last season, and teams like that, and even Man U.
Very, very underrated. Brighton, I think, are very underrated. I think they play good football as well. I think they need a couple signings, and they'll be flying. I think Man U had a very underwhelming season, and they lost in the UEFA in the UEFA final, which is unfortunate. But I think this season they should bounce back. You know, every team has a bad season. So,
Do you think Amorim is the answer? And that bad season seems to have been going on for a few seasons for Man U.
yeah, I think they need to tweak some strategies in their however they play. I think this season they'll do better. To be honest, I think they'll do better. I'm saying top 6.
I heard a lot of people blaming the players as against the managers who've been changed every so often. Do you share that view? Is it a player thing or a manager thing or just managing time thing? Give them time and they will change, especially to adapt to Amorim's style of play.
It could be both, especially in the professional environment. A manager could not like you for no reason. It could happen. And a player could not like the way the manager wants to play. So I think there's been a lot of clashes in the changing room, on the training ground, in matches. So I think that's why they haven't done as well as they should have. But I think, like I said again, I think that this season they will bounce back and they'll play good football like they were before in previous years.
Tell us about your Nigerian mates in the UK who play football like you. Do they aspire to one day play for the national team, or would they rather play in the countries to whom they're accustomed?
I think they would like to play for this country that they're accustomed to, because they're so used to it. They're so used to the football. They're so used to the system. They've been in it. They've been in the system for so long. So why would they, change? If they're so used to something, why would they change?
That's a very honest answer. And just before we let you go, looking forward at international football, you see how well the very young team of PSG is doing. See how the superstars have adapted to the challenge playing at the international level. Do you see more of that type of playing from other football teams where I know Arsenal has been trying to do it for a while, where they bring young ballers, which they've always tried to do, to practically take over the whole team?
Yeah, I think with what PSG done last season, winning the Champions League, and how they won it with who they had in the team as well, I think it sparked a lot of teams and a lot of young teams. Like there was a team in the Championship, I think. They won the playoff semi-finals. The average age was like 23. So I think we need more young footballers. When I was younger, I used to watch Neymar all the time. The way he used to just play with a football like he was back in Brazil. We need more fluidity. We need more, fun. It's not every day. We need structure. Plays your left back, plays your right back. We need fluidity. We need football back. We need energy. We need excitement.
Who would your favorite manager be then? Certainly Mourinho. Yeah, Mourinho.
No,
good old.
I think I respect the PSG manager, and I also respect the Barcelona manager as well. Because you see, Lamine Yamal, he's 17. Trusting in a 17-year-old is not easy. And look what he's doing. He's scoring. I think he scored 100 goals just not too long ago for a 17-year-old. That is just amazing. So I respect those two managers. I also respect Arteta as well. I think, again, the way he plays his football is very nice. He's been unlucky for 3 seasons. I don't know if I'll call that unlucky, to be honest. But 3 seasons, second place every single time. Hopefully, they come out on top this season.
Fantastic. So, finally, for you, what would you like your future in football to be? Would you like to play in the English Premier League and then from then on go to play in Real Madrid or in Saudi Arabia? Or in the USA. Tell us what your projection for your future footballing career would you probably like to be.
I would prefer if I'd started in another country, simply so that I can, get used to playing constantly, playing all the time, because as we know, not many young players in the Prem get minutes. I know a lot of good footballers my age and just a bit younger not getting enough minutes in the Prem, simply because the Prem is so, it's so, again, structured. It's hard. Prem is the top league in all 5 leagues.
Yeah.
In Europe. So it's understandable, but again, I think I'd prefer to play outside, maybe Germany, Spain, France, get my minutes in, get my goals in, get me used to playing in a professional environment in front of 20,000.
Fantastic. And that's a good way to put it, and that's a good way to end this interview. Thank you so much, David Agbons, in London, in the UK, playing football and looking to expand his horizon. Thank you for coming on Special Report.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
The youth remain Nigeria's continuum. That's just a fact of life. Beyond politics, a system that encourages youthful exploits, especially in sports, is always a plus for the country. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.